Okay, today is Wednesday. It is 4:57 a.m. It is February 25th. It's the third day of trading. Yeah, it's the third day of trading. I've noticed that I've noticed that price moves in a couple ways. One of them is by reversing. The other is moving by means of break and retest, which is essentially the same as a pullback. Now the pullback, I can sort of see how that might play out between two extremes of the support and resistance. I can see that. But the reversal is a bigger matter. Okay, seeing the reversal is a bigger matter. And I'm attempting to determine what things contribute to and create a visibility in the price of its intent to reverse. Okay? I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to understand, okay, so when a move has occurred, I want to know what would cause that. What would cause that? So if I reflect upon the pullback, essentially the price has to move to a specific location, uh, launching off of either the support or resistance to get to the other side. Okay, and the pullback is essentially exhibiting that the price pulls back a little bit and then resumes on its way, unobstructed by support or resistance anywhere. But as far as the reversal is concerned, the price had moved from where it launched off to the current price, where it is met with some resistance. Now, the fact that it is at the resistance does not necessarily mean that it's going to break out and move in the direction where it once came from. It could essentially loiter in that price range for a while until it continues moving within the trend. Okay, so it could be a prolonged pullback instead of being a short time pullback. And so I'm wondering about that. I'm trying to understand the the intricacy of understanding uh, the pullback and a reversal. In this case, I think I have an idea as far as the pullbacks are concerned. If it's a short kind of thing, and there's a clear separation between the support and resistance, I can see that a pullback is going to be a pullback. Okay, I can see that it pulls back a little bit and then it resumes. That's the trademark of what a pullback is. But as far as the reversal was concerned, it means for a specific duration between support and resistance, the stimulus will act upon it until it reaches the other side. At a point where the price meets the expectation, the full impact of its movement from where it started to the point where it landed and the price that moved to. So once it gets to that point, it has fully exhausted, such as, let's say a company releases earnings, and since that point, earnings is released after market close, and the price starts to move either way. And then the next day, it keeps moving in the direction where the fundamentals meets the current price. Okay, that's how it moves. Okay, there could be an overreaction that causes the price to move beyond where the fair value is based on what the new found fundamental is, disclosed fundamentals, versus what it was prior to the earnings release. And so so that means, well, it actually still works with a breakup structure, doesn't it? It creates a breakup structure. Okay, it is related to the breakup structure. It is a break of structure that occurs, and as soon as the break of structure occurs, then it creates. And why does a break of structure occur? Because when a break of structure occurs, it is a detachment. It is a it is a it is a it is a separation. Okay, it's a separation from the momentum that was created to move in that direction. And now it's saying that there's some other form of catalyst that's causing it to move in the other direction. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure this. I'm trying to now, because sometimes what I'll do is as soon as it gets to a certain point, like the support area, I immediately enter thinking, okay, well, it's gonna bounce back up, but there's more to it. There's more to it. Okay, it could be a pullback or a long drawn out pullback. The other thing is what it will do is at a point of where that support is, it could bounce up and return to this area where it found its support area. Okay, right there. So now I'm trying to understand. Now I think I have an idea how the pullback works. Okay, pulls back, it does that. Okay, the pullback is essentially very similar to, and the reversal and a pullback are one and the same when it's range bound on a bigger scale, on a one-to-one scale, right? But when it's trending, the pullback is very different than the reversal, because the reversal will completely change direction. Okay, so now I'm like looking deeper into trading. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, now I've been thinking about this, especially what happened on Monday. Okay, when the market opened for this week, I had I essentially had a FTMO trial account, and I just blew it. Okay, I was up 2 point some percent, and then I just tossed it away because I was not prepared to figure out what's going on, because I paid attention to the candles instead of understanding the 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 the, the, the means for me to enter into the trade. Okay, so for me to enter into the trade, I have to be looking for a specific thing. I'm asking myself a specific thing. Okay, so now I had a couple of days to think about what I did. Now I'm thinking about it, and the results are becoming more positive. Okay, results are becoming more positive because the way that I'm thinking and observing the market is different. If I look at the candles, it gets me confused because I'm looking at different things. When I look at a candle, I see a green candle. It can and may or may not be a candle that allows me to determine what its intention is, because even if it's going down, it may pull back before it starts moving back. So that green candle may or may not be a reversal. So I fell victim to that because I wasn't gauging it properly. I wasn't framing. I was not framing the price when I was taking action. So in order for me to properly frame my trades, I have to figure out. In order for me to frame my trading, I have to look at it from a specific step-by-step process of understanding what the price is doing, right? And so now I see. So the biggest picture I see is this. Okay, so I zoom out. I see what's happening. Okay, what's happening? I look at a big picture. I have to look at it from a bigger picture instead of, if I look at closely, like looking at the candles, that'll get me confused because I won't be able to see it. Okay. If I take a microscope and put it on an elephant, I'm not going to be able to see the elephant. Okay. I'm not going to be able to define the elephant. But if I zoom it out and I look at the big picture, okay? If I look at the big picture, the 30,000 feet view, okay? 30,000 feet view. I have to look at it. The starting point is a 30,000 feet view, okay? The first thing that I need to do is look at this price, look at this thing from a 30,000 feet view first. Then after I figure out what that is, I could be wrong, but I want to look at it that way. As soon as I look at that, then I get in a little bit closer and closer and closer to define, to determine, um, to determine the specifics for that condition. If I look at it from a 30,000 feet perspective, I'm looking at it from a wider time frame. And therefore, I have to look at it, the results being, the result being a higher time frame. I'm looking at it from that perspective. After I initially look at it, then I can say, okay, so when I look at it from a 30,000 feet perspective, once I start looking at it from a 30,000 feet viewpoint, then I begin to, the first thing that I see is, okay, so is it trending? Okay, is it trending or is it range bound? That's the first question that I ask myself. Is it range bound or is it trending? That's the first question that I ask myself, right? That's the first question that when I look at this, the question that I need to ask myself is this: okay, so what am I looking at? Okay, what's the current situation here? What is the price painting at a 30,000 feet view? A 30,000 feet view. When I look at it, I'm gonna, okay. So for instance, I'm currently looking at EU right now. Okay, and I have a minute time frame. So I'm looking at from the left side. So the price moved up halfway, dropped to support, and moved up to the resistance, and then now it's down. Now it's coming back up from the support area. Okay, unlike the pullbacks that was generated in order to get to the support side. Now it's on the, now the price is moving up. Okay, I can see that it's moving up. Okay, now I need to determine whether this is a pullback or a reversal, right? Based on what I'm seeing here, the price is so what I'm looking at is that, okay, so it seems to be range bound. Okay, it seems to be range bound because I see the top, I see the bottom, which means that it's range bound, and it's not going through the support, which means that it's not trending. Okay, so even though it's trending for a short duration, it is not trending beyond it. So I see on a bigger scale, from a 30,000 feet perspective, the 30,000 feet view is telling me that this is range bound. The range is going to be very wide based on what I'm looking at today, right now, from the high there of 1.18, 1.18,089, all the way down to 1.17711. All right, I see that. So it's a very wide, it's a very wide range bound situation, but it's going up. But based on what I'm seeing right now, it is a definite reversal. It is a reversal. It could come back down. It could definitely come back down. Okay, but based on it has changed its structure. I can see it. It has changed its structure. Okay, from a purely downtrending, now it is reversed. So now that's the second view that I have. Okay, so then in order for me to enter, I have to know whether that trend will continue or not. Okay, I have to know. So then I've already identified that it's range bound. It went to the support. Okay, that's the 30,000 view. I looked at it from a big picture. The big picture, the first thing that I see, the big picture view is it's range bound. Based on what I'm looking at to the left side, yes, it is range bound because it went up, it went down, it went up, it went down. Okay, it's range bound. It's bounded by a range. Then the previous step that was there is the high, and then the low here, and the low is actually, it's working off the low now. Now it's starting to move up. Okay, now it's starting to move. So now I can see that it's moving up, which means that it is possible to pull back, but it is indicating to me that it is a reversal. Now it's moving in the direction of reversal, and let's see how it works out. The entry point is going to be again is going to be based on essentially a is basically it is going to be based on a pullback, or if I have a bigger idea, something is telling me okay, it's going to keep continuing, then I can take that trade, right? Does this make any sense? Does this make any sense? In order for me to on Monday, I was mired in just looking at that particular thing, looking at the candles, which is just looking at it with a blinders on. Okay, but now I'm looking at it from a 30,000 feet perspective first. So it allows me to frame this trade in a bigger picture so that I can so that I can see what I'm seeing. I'm looking at the big picture first. Then I'm looking at it from a narrow perspective of where my entry point is and whether something is going to continue or not. Okay? So I look at the big picture first. Okay, I look at the so when I start trading, I have to look at it that way. I'm looking at the big picture first to articulate uh, the price action, okay? To articulate it based on what I'm seeing. Okay, so, and then to define the confluences, which I'm looking at it, one of the confluences, okay, I see that it bounced off of this. Okay, the lower low is higher, which means that it reached the support, and the prices has broken away from the trend. So there's a structural change. That's number two. Then the price is still going up. It is higher than the moving average. Okay, uh, let's see. I think that's a 50-day moving average. I think that's what it is. A 50-day moving average and a 100-day moving average. I believe that's the case. Which is a bullish sign. So this going up, okay? So these are indicating to me that this is definitely a reversal, or a big pullback, okay? So one of those things will fit into it. So what was missing that I did not catch was stepping through the process of understanding what the stop loss is going to be. I can see where the stop loss is going to be when I enter into this trade, okay? Uh, but do I want to risk it? Do I want to risk it all the way down here, or do I want to? So if I get in right now, the support is way down here. Okay, so that is a fix for what I missed out on Monday. Okay, this is a fix for what I. So this, so in order for me to fix that, I had to, and somebody mentioned this too. I have to look at a bigger time frame to get a better picture of what's going on. But if I look at it just based on this that wicked candle, that single candle, it'll get me confused. Okay, and then once I get into it, I'll be out of sync as soon as I start to lose. As soon as I start to move, then I'll get out. Then that's the point, exactly at a point where so it gets. So what I need to do, the fix is I have to look at it from a 30,000 feet perspective first. That's the first thing that I need to do.